Quantitative easing is an advanced monetary policy used by central banks to increase the supply of money in the economy during times of economic slowdown or financial crisis. It is called quantitative because it focuses on increasing the quantity of money, and easing because it aims to make financial conditions easier. In simple language, QE means that a central bank creates new money digitally and uses it to purchase government bonds and other financial assets from banks and institutions. This injects liquidity into the system, making it easier for people and businesses to borrow and spend. Quantitative easing background. Quantitative easing became widely known after the 2008 global financial crisis, when traditional tools like reducing interest rates were no longer effective. Before QE, central banks mainly controlled the economy by changing interest rates. During severe recessions, interest rates often fall close to zero lower bound. At this stage, central banks need alternative tools like QE. QE was first used extensively by the Federal Reserve, later adopted by the European Central Bank and the Bank of Japan. Quantitative easing objectives. Quantitative easing is introduced to achieve multiple economic goals when normal policies fail. Increase money supply. QE injects large amounts of money into the economy to improve liquidity, boost economic growth, encourages businesses to invest and expand production, promote lending. Banks get more funds, making it easier to provide loans to individuals and companies, reduce unemployment, increase investment, leads to job creation, prevent deflation, helps avoid falling prices which can harm economic activity, stabilize financial markets, supports stock markets and bond markets during crisis. How quantitative easing works. Quantitative easing QE works by injecting money directly into the financial system to increase liquidity and encourage economic activity. It mainly targets long-term interest rate and boosts lending when traditional policies fail. The central bank creates money electronically, digital money creation. It purchases government bonds and financial assets from banks and institutions. Banks receive cash in exchange, increasing their reserves. This reduces long-term interest rates due to higher demand for bonds. Lower interest rates make borrowing cheaper for business and individuals. Banks are encouraged to lend more due to excess liquidity. Increased lending leads to higher spending and investment. Economic activity rises, helping growth and employment. Quantitative easing in India. In India, full scale quantitative easing has not been officially implemented, but similar liquidity boosting measures have been adopted by the Reserve Bank of India during economic stress. RBI uses open market operation to buy government securities. Long-term repo operations provide long-term funds to banks. Targeted LTRO supports specific sectors like NBFCs and MSMEs. Government securities acquisition program is closest to QE. These measures were widely used during COVID-19 to support the economy. Focus is on maintaining liquidity and stable financial markets. RBI follows a cautious approach to avoid inflation risk. India's strategy balances growth with financial stability. Real world examples of quantitative easing. Quantitative easing has been widely used by major central banks across the world during financial crises and economic slowdowns. The Federal Reserve introduced QE during the 2008 crisis. It purchased trillions of dollars in bonds to stabilize the economy. The European Central Bank used QE during the Eurozone debt crisis. Focus was on government bond purchases to support weak economies. The Bank of Japan has used QE for decades. Japan aimed to fight deflation and boost demand. QE was also used globally during the COVID-19 pandemic. Many countries used QE to prevent economic collapse. Quantitative easing advantages. Quantitative easing helps stimulate the economy by increasing liquidity and encouraging borrowing, spending, and investment. It is especially effective during recessions when traditional monetary tools become less useful. Increases money supply, injects large amount of money into the economy, improving overall liquidity, reduces long-term interest rates. Buying bonds raises their prices and lowers yields, making borrowing cheaper, encourages lending. Banks have more reserves, which motivate them to provide loans to business and individuals, boost investment. Lower interest rates encourage companies to invest in expansion and new projects, supports economic growth. Higher spending and investment lead to increased production and GDP growth, prevent deflation, helps maintain price stability by avoiding falling prices, stabilizes financial market, provides support to bond and stock market during crisis, increases asset prices, raises prices of stock and real estate, improving wealth perception, improves employment, increased business activity leads to job creation, enhances consumer confidence. Economic stability encourages people to spend rather than save excessively. Quantitative easing disadvantages. Quantitative easing can support economic recovery, but it also creates several risks. Used excessively or for a long time, these drawbacks can affect financial stability and increase inequality in the economy. Risk of inflation. Excess money supply can lead to rising prices if demand grows faster than supply. Asset price bubbles. QE can push up prices of stocks and real estate beyond their real value. Income and wealth inequality. Wealthier individuals benefit more as they own financial assets that increase in value. Currency depreciation. Increased money supply can weaken the domestic currency, affecting imports. Limited impact on lending. Banks may prefer to hold reserves instead of giving loans, reducing quantitative easing effectiveness. Difficult exit strategy. Withdrawing liquidity without distributing markets is complex and risky. Market distortions artificially lowers interest rates, which may misprice risk in financial markets. Dependence on central banks. Economies may become overly reliant on continuous monetary support. Risk of future financial instability. Prolonged QE can create imbalances that may lead to future crises. Uneven economic benefits. The benefits of QE may not reach small businesses or lower income groups effectively.